Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boys.
Drango.
Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. We them boys. Hold on. We making noise. Hold on.
Baylor Game Day, live from McLean Stadium on the Baylor campus. Presented by Capital Farm Credit, Esco Equipment, Waco Carpet Company, and your Texas best Chevy dealers. This is Baylor Game Day from KWTX News 10 Sports.
Welcome to McLean Stadium. Thousands of fans already here. All here to see if Baylor can improve to 3-0 on the year. The final non-conference game just 2 hours away. About 30 minutes ago, the Baylor football team arrived here at Touchdown Alley and started their walk towards McLean Stadium. The Bears, yeah, they're pretty good in Waco. They have not lost a home game since 2012. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for version number 2 of Baylor Game Day this season. We want to welcome everybody who's watching on KWTX, on KWTX.com, and on Fox Sports Southwest.
Yeah, welcome to all of you out there. For the next hour, we're going to be talking all things Baylor football. And Terrence, good thing it's cool out here today, right?
It is cool.
It's only like 200 degrees. You all right?
It is a beautiful day. The crowd's beautiful. You know, I'm just ready for Baylor to go out there and try to get some things started momentum-wise on the field. And I think this is a great day to do it.
What are you guys talking about, it being cool out here?
Yeah.
I am sweating.
Well, you're hot. You're like a Johnny Cage type guy.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, where's your shades, man?
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Here's a hint. It's not cool out here. What do you say we get a quick preview of what you can expect over the next hour or so? Very special guest joining us in about 10 minutes. Baylor Athletic Director Ian McCaw joins us live on set. Also, it's not too late for a good cup of coffee. Former Baylor star Elliot Coffey is back breaking down the Baylor defense for us.
That's right. Plus, a little bit later on in the show, I'm going to head inside to McLean Stadium for our exclusive live interview with Baylor head coach Art Briles.
You got a little bit of ways to walk now, don't you?
Yeah, well, there is a golf cart waiting, so that will help.
Take a fan with you.
Yeah.
It's going to get hot.
And if I'm soaked in sweat by the time I interview him, you all will know why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We won't hold it against you. All right, let's go ahead and get right to our opening drive.
The opening drive, presented by Waco Mattress Center.
Well, let's just talk about this running game. I think we have the most dynamic running backs in the Big 12 for sure, and Shock Linwood has really been leading the way. I mean, there's an article about him chasing Walter Abercrombie's record, the guy we had as a guest last week, and I think he is eyeballing that, and he's leading this pack for this young running back group.
Terrence, I don't know about you, but I want to see a strong start for the Bears defensively for one time this season. They come out against SMU, and the defense gives up 21 points in the first half. Exact same story happening against Lamar. The defense giving up another 21 points in the first half. So there's been a lot of talk about if the Bears defense has some big weaknesses that these smaller programs have exposed. And I mean, if their defense can't stop Lamar, I'm not sure they have a prayer against Texas Tech, who's number 6 in total offense in the country right now. And that's the next game they're looking to.
And that's exactly what I want to see, Julie. I mean, they beat Lamar by 35, but I think you guys would agree. It might be one of the ugliest blowouts we've seen. Lamar's an FCS school. Baylor only led by 14 at the half when most people thought the game would be over at half. They turned it over 4 times, all of those coming from quarterback Seth Russell. For me, it's about being incredibly sharp. And you gotta try and play almost flawlessly, because if, as you said, Julie, if they're not playing well heading into Big 12 play and against Texas Tech in Arlington next week, they're going to be in big trouble. So how sharp will they look today?
And for me, I want to know, will the fans walk away happy? Let's be honest. BU fans have been pretty spoiled the past few years. It's been a different kind of Baylor football. They have very high expectations. So what I'm interested in seeing, will we see a complete game from Baylor? We haven't seen that the first 2 weeks. Will they do that against Rice today? And will the fans walk away happy? Because you hear Baylor fans are actually griping about stuff. That is our opening drive, brought to you each and every week by Waco Mattress Center.
All right, we want to start today with all the talk of the things that have been happening for the Bears off the field. We're talking about arrests. There's been a trial, some suspensions. It seems like every week, Friday about 5 o'clock, we've been getting a press release from Baylor, and it hasn't really been good news.
Yeah, it's true. It's been a rough month or so, frankly, for the program. For some of the stuff off the field, of course, there is the sexual assault conviction of Sam Ukwachu. Players and coaches have been suspended, and just this week we got word that assistant coach Jeff Lebby will be suspended for the first half of OU. However, you talked to Art Briles, and he said his focus is on getting his team refocus.
And so we've got to do a better job of matching the energy and the mentality and the edge that people bring to us. And that's all on me. I mean, 100%. It is my responsibility to make sure our football team, has that edge. And that's something that I've worked on over the last, 8 to 10 days.
And did you see this? I think everybody saw it. Gary Patterson weighed in on the Baylor distractions, or at least it sure appears like he did at his weekly press conference on Tuesday. He certainly took a bit of a jab at BU. Take a listen at what he said and Briles' response.
We'll find out what the facts are. It'll all come out. I just hope when they all come out and all done, that you report and you cover it just as strongly as as you've covered what you want to do here, because it's not even close to what happened south here.
Did David Baylor say something? He did. That's who we're playing this week. So, I'm worried about Rice. I'm concentrating on beating Rice. We're playing football. That's where we take our shots on the football field.
Hey, lots of people talking about that this week. That's where we take our shots on the football field. I think a lot of Baylor fans at least are saying, hey, Gary Patterson, take care of your own issues that are happening in TCU. What did Baylor have to do with this press conference? Were you guys surprised by what Gary Patterson had to say?
Well, he never mentioned Baylor. He could have been talking about Southwest Assembly of God there in Waxahachie. We don't know what's going on there.
Terrence.
That's exactly
we really don't know what they're talking about. So, honestly, Gary Patterson wasn't wrong, in my opinion, for what he said. A lot of coaches have a lot of talking points, and, Gary Patterson is probably the world's worst in the Big 12, and I think he'll fly over. But we need to be focused on Rice this week. I don't care what Gary Patterson say until the week of November 27th.
But, Terrence, you honestly thought it was okay for Gary Patterson to
I like it. I played in the NFL. I played with Rex Ryan. He said everything in the world about Tom Brady. Now, everybody and their mama know that Tom Brady is the absolute best quarterback in the NFL. Arguably, at least. But Rex Ryan says that stuff. So, if it gets the players up to play, who cares?
Well, you know what? Here's my problem. And it doesn't justify or take away anything that's happened at Baylor or excuse anything that's happened. But Gary Patterson, they need to leave the talk on the field. First and foremost, TCU, there's no private school in America that's had more players arrested in the last 5 years than TCU. TCU leads all the private schools in America. So, Gary Patterson, you need to settle down before you're pointing the finger down south. But first off, don't even address it. Just say you have no comment, leave it alone, and play the game when it gets here in November.
But, Sean, it's not a private school dilemma. This is across every football program.
Oh, that's true.
No matter what level of play they're at. There's athletes that are not being good stewards of their scholarship and not being very responsible. And I think that's really a reason why that Baylor and TCU's rise to fame has really been
true. I'm just
saying,
don't point the finger when you got a big problem internally yourself.
Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. All right.
Here's something I think everybody can agree on. There's a football game today. I'd like to start talking about that as well. Baylor playing Rice today. Yes, I know. Rice comes in with a record of 2-1. Gave Texas a pretty good game. Baylor is 2-0. Of course, the Bears haven't exactly played a complete game yet, and that fact is not lost on head coach Art Briles.
It's got to be cleaner. We got to be cleaner. We hadn't been a clean football team. I still think we're looking for our identity offensively. I knew it would take, 3 or 4 games. We don't have 3 or 4 games anymore. We got 1, 2, and, we're on.
All right, so what can we expect from Rice today?
I think they're going to come out and they're going to throw a lot of punches early. And the thing is, I think Rice is going to be physical enough, and they're going to have enough depth to play with us in the third and fourth quarter. SMU wasn't confident enough to play with us second half. Lamar didn't have the personnel to play with us in the second half. I think Rice can compete with us for 4 quarters. So it's really how well will we go out there and fight those guys from start to finish.
All right, good stuff.
All right, thank you, Terrence. Well, coming up next, you guys have dared me to do this. All he does is win, 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 right? He's credited with engineering one of the greatest turnarounds in college sports. Sorry, my singing wasn't very good there, was it?
Oh, I was perfect.
Thank you. In many ways, Baylor Athletic Director Ian McCaw has taken much of the athletic department from the outhouse to the penthouse.
And if the Bears want to keep on winning, the defense is going to have to play it even better after the break. Former Baylor star Elliot Coffey will join us with his take on what it will take to get that done. Don't forget, we're online each and every week. You can catch us streaming on KWTX.com. You're watching Baylor Game Day, brought to you by Capital Farm Credit.
Everybody hands go up. And they stay there. And they say yeah.
Well, it's safe to say without our next guest, this stadium that's behind us right here probably wouldn't be here. We're talking about Ian McCaw. He's got one heck of a resume. Let's kind of run that through that resume before we bring him out here. Since he came to the scene in 2003, Baylor has had its most successful period in school history. They've captured 4 national team championships, 56 Big 12 conference championship, and their first bowl victory in a couple of decades. And, of course, Baylor football has now reached bowl games in 5 consecutive years and, of course, won that Heisman Trophy with RG3 in 2011. Ian McCaw, thanks for coming to Baylor Game Day.
Dan, great to be with you. What a beautiful day. We're 2 for 2 on gorgeous days, and great to see all the tailgating and sailgating and wonderful pregame atmosphere going on.
Did you still pinch yourself when you see this there? Because it was, let's be honest, it was not like this in 03 when you came here.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't like this even 5 years ago, and that's amazing just to come and experience what Baylor Nation's rallied around this football program. And, of course, McLean Stadium gives us one of, we think, the finest college football environments to enjoy on game day, and obviously when you have a team that's winning, that makes a big difference as well. So it's a special time, and certainly a time for all of us to treasure.
And it is amazing what you have done. I mean, literally nothing short of amazing. The turnaround in so many programs at Baylor since you've come on the scene in 03. What was it about Baylor that made you want to take a chance?
I was really excited about the opportunity at Baylor, certainly to build something. We had a lot of challenges in 2003, but the opportunity to build a successful athletic program in a Christian environment, a great academic institution in the Big 12. All those assets have come together with the great personnel, the great coaches we have, incredible student athletes, and obviously we're a program that has a lot of momentum right now.
Ian, when you came in 2003, was this, all of this, and the success of the athletic department, was this the vision you had, or did you think it would get here as quickly as it did, or even a longer-term process?
Well, our vision was to become the nation's premier Christian athletic program, so that was our vision. But certainly, you couldn't have dreamed of a McLean Stadium or back-to-back Big 12 championships in those days. But, we just continued to put one foot in front of the other and grind and continue to try to get better in every aspect of our program year to year, and we've done that. And again, one of the things that we're really proud of is just the success throughout the entire athletic program. We had 15 teams finish the year ranked in the top 20 in the country, 8 Big 12 championships, a national championship, and so it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 sports are doing well. It's really permeated the whole program.
I asked you what it was about Baylor that made you want to come here. What was it about Art Briles? When his resume comes across your desk, when you bring him into your office and you talk to him, how did you know he was the guy to take the program from Floyd Casey to McLean Stadium?
Yeah, Julie, he just had every attribute we were looking for. Obviously, the Texas high school success. He's turned around programs at Stephenville High School and the University of Houston. Great recruiter, great connections in the state of Texas. Somebody who's a really good fit for Baylor, and very innovative offensive coach. And we knew that he'd create some excitement offensively, and then obviously from there began to have some success and win games and win championships. So we're really proud of him.
All right, Ian McCaw, thank you so much for coming on Baylor Game Day. You were a great guest last year and a great guest this year. Have fun out there today.
Thank you.
All right, Ian McCaw, Baylor Athletic Director. We love having him here. We also love having Rusty Garrett a part of this show. He's going to tell us just how hot it is out there.
Yeah, is it hot? No way.
Rusty, just how hot is it out there? My goodness.
It is a little warm, and I'm going to talk about the game day forecast for those that are waiting to come out for that 2 o'clock game start. But right now I want to talk to you about a weather icon. I'm often asked, who, Rusty, during your early career was a mentor? And it's this man coming up. Back in July 2007, Troy Dungan did his last weather broadcast on WFAA-TV Channel 8. And he is now enjoying the comfort of retirement, but he is a staunch Baylor Bear fan, and I ran into him last Saturday right out here at Touchdown Alley, and we had a chance to talk for a few minutes. Take a look. Hello, Baylor Nation. Gotta say something real quick to this man who is not only my weather mentor, Troy Dungan, retired from WFAA Channel 8 in Dallas, but also a Baylor alum.
Baylor grad, sick 'em Bears, you bet.
Yeah. Are you enjoying being away from the television lights and camera?
I am. I have a couple of commercial accounts. I work about a half a dozen days a year, and they send the checks. It's great. Why didn't I figure this out before?
Really? Well, I know you're excited to see this game.
Absolutely.
And you're Baylor through and through.
Absolutely.
You got your green and gold.
I'm going to put it on. We go inside, but at least I have to have my bow tie.
Absolutely. Troy Duncan, Channel 8. Man, it's good to see you.
Thank you, Rusty. God bless. Thanks.
The weather guy with the bow tie. He is definitely a North Texas weather legend, and thank you, Troy, for spending some time with me. All right, let's talk a little bit about the weather. Here's your game day forecast. You know, our temperatures are going to be warm this afternoon. The game starts at 2 o'clock. We'll already be in the 90s. I think we'll top out in the low 90s. One advantage is that we've got some low humidity and a very light northeast wind. I kind of wish that wind was blowing a little faster. But nonetheless, we will have at least a little bit of a breeze. So if you're headed out to the stadium and finding your place, I hope you've dressed appropriately because yeah, it's a little bit warm, but it could be a lot worse. And it makes us really appreciate those cool days of October and November, which hopefully will get here sooner than later. And that's a look at your forecast. Enjoy the game. Now back to the desk.
All right, Rusty, thanks so much. As we head to break, we want to send out our well wishes to legendary former head coach of the Baylor Bears, Grant Taff. Coach Taff was scheduled to be on set with us today. Unfortunately, he remains in the intensive care unit at a local hospital after doctors discovered blood clots in his lungs and his leg.
Coach is in good spirits, expects to make a full recovery. We're praying for him, thinking about him when he does. He get out of the hospital. He told us he does want to come back to Baylor game day.
He will certainly be invited. Coach, sending you our very best.
All right, we've left the comfy confines from our set over there. We've moved to the old touchdown. This is actually the old end zone from Floyd Casey Stadium. Elliott Coffey played on this field back in the day. We call this Cup of Coffee. He's going to help us break down the defense. All right, so what are we going to do here? We've got our good models over here to help us out. So let's get going.
Yeah, so I appreciate everybody being out here. So the first thing we're going to look at is a zone read, something that we had a ton of issues with against Lamar. Simple concept. Know where your anchor is and make sure that you fit off, know where your help is. So what we're going to have is we're going to have 2 down blocks here. On the snap, say a hit, 2 down blocks. We're going to have chance coming. And when you step down, what we saw is the linebackers, instead of staying squared, when you see that running back come, they were turning their shoulders. And that presents 2 issues. The first issue is if you step down, you're taking yourself out of the play. The second thing is you are also opening up the backside of the defense. So when you step down, you need to stay squared because if chance goes down, you can adjust. But if chance bounces outside, at least you're a body to either force him back inside or best chance you make the play. That's the first thing that I saw. The second thing that I saw, Sean, if you can line up here, is when you
Just so we'll let the viewers know, Julie is our offensive lineman. Terrence Ganaway is an offensive lineman as well, right here.
These are offensive
Terrence
linemen.
is a little upset. You're not used to playing on the O-line, are you?
Man, no, man. Why you do that to
Here's
me,
the thing.
bro?
Terrence asked to play a position he never played before. I tried to put him at quarterback. He said he'd already done it before, so he ended up at left guard. All right, so the next play that we're looking at is when you have a linebacker moved outside of the box, you need to make sure that if you have that C-gap, so we actually, instead of having guard tackle, we have tackle tight end. When you get the play on the snap, so you're going to block out, chance you're going to get it. You need to make sure that if you read run, that either you fill this gap right here or you have a D lineman stepping in. Because if you don't get there and you're caught outside, chance, where are you? Chance is running a touchdown. So line back up. The second thing that I saw is on pass plays, is that when you're lined up over number 3 and Sean's going to come up here, if you have somebody in front of you, you need to make sure that you have contact every time. They won't call it under 5 yards. You need to make sure that you have contact because if you disrupt the timing of this play, Sean Oakman or one of your guys up front gets home.
All right, good stuff. A little cup of coffee breaking down the defense. The models did pretty good. You did a good job breaking it down for us. Elliott Coffey helping us break down the defense. Madison Adams, she got a tour of a brand new facility on campus. Let's hear from her right now.
Well, guys, thinking back on my days in college, I spent many moments eating in the campus cafeterias, but never did my dining experience look quite like it did when I walked through the doors at the Beecham Athletic Nutrition Center. The Country Club of Dining Halls is not for your typical Baylor student.
Athletes need different food than regular students do.
It's athletes only, and the theme of the food, recovery and performance.
They're going to be able to come in here and get the fuel they need to perform on the field or in the classroom.
Don't expect to see desserts or soda machines.
There is no benefit for them to drinking soda, so we're not going to provide that for them.
But don't worry, every athlete, including junior cornerback Ryan Reed, doesn't have to look far to find something they like.
I love the fruit station. I'm a big fruit fan.
Everything in the building is geared towards Baylor athletes and helping them to perform at their very best.
I think that just being so convenient coming right from practice. We can just walk right across the street and it's right here.
Oh, yeah. Especially after practice, and we can sit down and just laugh about stuff that happened at practice.
And the amenities don't stop there. There is also a lounge upstairs for the players to do, well, whatever they want.
Whether it's I just need some quiet time away from everybody else, whether it's I need to take a nap real quick before practice, it just gives them a good place to go where no one else is really going to bother them.
The biggest mystery, what are they going to do with the barber's chair sitting upstairs?
Man, I heard they trying to get a barber, so Matt Harvey, you need to come on over here.
All right, guys, so, there are tons of awesome things that they get there. They get the barber chair, the gourmet food, but the best reward that they're going to receive is having that nutrition pay off on the football field in the form of victories. Back to you guys.
Man, that place is pretty awesome. Thank you, Madison. Still to come here on Baylor Game Day. He's from Waco, and he made history at Rice. Rodrigo Barnes joins us live on set. And how Baylor helped make a dream come true for one longtime Waco resident. You're watching Baylor Game Day.
Hey everybody, this is Garth Brooks along with Julie Hayes, and you're watching Baylor Game Day.
In the vault this week, we're going back 4 years to the last time these two teams met. Baylor beat Rice 56-31. Some guy named Terrence Ganaway scored 2 touchdowns in the win that day, one on the ground, and he caught a pass for a touchdown. Well, TG didn't do that a lot, but looking good with RG3. He had a big day, 5 touchdown passes for the Bears. That is a look at the vault.
All right, thank you, Dan. There is a fan that is going to be in the stands at this Baylor-Rice game who meant so much more to football than just being an athlete on the field. Rodrigo Barnes was born and raised in Waco. In fact, his house set at South 2nd Street right near the Baylor University campus. In 1968, however, he left Waco to pursue his dream of playing football at Rice University just down the road, of course, in Houston. When Barnes arrived at campus, he was one of the first African-Americans to suit up for the Rice Owls, and he went on to become the first African-American to be named to the All-Southwest Conference defensive team. Barnes also went on to have a pretty great career in the NFL, which included winning a Super Bowl ring with the Oakland Raiders in 1976. Rodrigo Barnes, an honor to have you here today, sir. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, is it a little bit surreal to be here in your hometown of Waco, Texas, really right near to where you grew up, and have this beautiful, gorgeous stadium?
It really is. This is wonderful to come and see all the facilities, the great things that's happening in Waco, and also happening at Baylor University. So we're honored to have an opportunity to come and compete against the highly ranked Bears today.
How's your Rice team going to do today?
We're going to do very well. We're coming prepared. We're prepared to fight. We're fighting Rice Owl, and we're coming to bring a fight. So look forward to a long, hard contest, and hopefully the Owls will come out ahead.
Mr. Barnes, I have to ask you a question. Back in the late 60s is when you went and played for Rice. And as I mentioned, I believe there were only 2 other African Americans who were playing for the football team. Did you have any idea that you would be paving a way for so many black athletes to follow so many years later?
No, I didn't. If I had, I'd probably done a much better job. At that time, we came in, we really didn't have a lot of mentorships or people to show us the way. So it was kind of learn as you go type situation. But fortunately, the Southwest Conference, Rice University, and everybody involved did a wonderful job, and we were able to adapt.
I mean, that has to be remarkable just to see how far, a lot of the recent Heisman Trophy winners are African-American. But sometimes we become knuckleheads. What would you say to be a mentor to a Jameis Winston or a Robert Griffin? These young guys that have a lot of talent and a lot of fame early on, but sometimes say the wrong thing.
Well, that happens, and it happens because guys are immature, and it takes a minute to mature, and we have to be cognizant of that. No, even though they are athletes and well paid, they still have to go through the maturation experience. We really have to connect with those guys and have some type of system to try to lead and guide them. I myself have been available to help some guys as they come to me, but we really need to step out a little bit more to make sure that these guys are getting some leadership and guidance.
And speaking of leading and guiding, that's kind of what you're doing right now. Why don't you tell our viewers what you do now up in the Dallas area?
Well, right now I am working in the Garland Independent School District Hello, Garland. Also, hello to my high school coach, Lester G. Broadus. Have to put that in.
Go for it.
We are really working. I'm an assistant principal in Garland ISD, and so I help a lot of kids up there. We also work with various foundations. My son-in-law is also coaching and helping train guys and athletes, and so we're looking forward to growing that. And for years, I've always been a mentor to a lot of young guys.
All right, Rodrigo Barnes, good luck today. Thank you so much for coming back to Waco and Baylor Game Day.
Well, thank you for having me. Let's have a great game.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. All right, also, last game here, home game, was a very special game for one longtime Waco resident. Marlena Hamilton has that story now.
Dan, Howard Johnson is dying of kidney cancer. His hospice chaplain asked him if he could do one more thing before he dies. What would he do? And he said to see a Baylor football game. But he got a lot more than that. He got a private tour, also of McLean Stadium, and he says these are moments he'll never forget.
Behind the Green and Gold, presented by Allen Samuels Chevrolet.
Big eyes, big smile, and a happy heart.
You can see anything up here.
This was Howard Johnson's reaction when he arrived at McLean Stadium for his private tour.
I never thought it would be done anything like this.
Shifting through the Bears locker room.
Big.
Experiencing the excitement when the Bears run on the field.
Take a picture of me on the field.
Johnson never thought his dream would become a reality.
I never thought it would be true. But thanks to Miss Sarah, she made it come true. Put it all together.
We were with him as he arrived at the stadium, took his seat, and soaked it all in.
That's the only thing that was going through my mind. I couldn't believe it was me. I was here. I had to teach myself to make it through I was in.
Not only did he get to see a game, but he met President Ken Starr, women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey, and a lot of alumni.
That surprised me. That surprised me. It sure did.
It was really neat, wasn't it?
This sure were humility. Just people that's calling me, speaking to me that I don't even know. I was just waving and everything.
His chaplain says he's touched by all the people still reaching out.
And a lot of people are praying for him.
When asked about any final thoughts about this unforgettable experience.
Sick of bells, sadly.
Johnson wants to thank everyone that had a helping hand in making his dream come true. Back to you guys.
All right, Marlena, good stuff right there. Love to see him get to experience that. Behind the Green and Gold is, of course, brought to you by Allen Samuels Chevrolet. Also, here at Baylor Game Day, it's about more than just football. Up next, we introduce a new segment. We're calling it Food Find.
Looking forward to that. Also, I'll be heading into the coach's office as we speak to go live with head coach Art Briles, just 1 hour to kick. And don't forget to stop by Touchdown Alley to pick up your Bear buttons. You can pick them up at each and every home game, thanks to Chick-fil-A.